Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome back to today's Market Outlook. My name is Edmund. So, last week we had a very busy and I would say productive week on the markets for the last 5 market days. And for this morning, on a Monday, markets are still quiet, more or less in a consolidation phase and waiting for new momentum and energy to move the markets towards the UK and also the US trading session. Okay, so last week on Friday, when this report was released and uploaded onto Facebook and YouTube, we were looking at the UK pound, which was having some data coming out at 2 p.m. And we're going to have a look at it shortly in terms of the outcome and also how it impacted the UK pound on last Friday. Okay, so just a quick look into today's and possibly this week's major news coming up on the economic calendar. For today, Monday, 15th of June 2020, it is a collection of minor data coming out from Europe, starting with the producer price index monthly data. This is for the Swiss economy, Switzerland. And at 5 p.m., we will be having the Eurozone trade balance numbers. Towards the evening from the Americas, we will be having monthly manufacturing sales data coming out from Canada. And well, I would say this would be the highlight for the evening. Not a major news also, however, it should have some impact on the US dollar. This will be the Empire State Manufacturing Index data coming up at 8:30 p.m. Local Singapore and Malaysia time. For this week, we will have a number of FOMC members, including Federal Reserve Chairman Mr. Jerome Powell himself, speaking and testifying in the US. Okay, so for tonight, we will be having FOMC member Mr. Robert Kaplan speaking at 11 p.m. Okay, his comments should not be having a major impact on the US dollar. The major ones would be Mr. Jerome Powell, who will be speaking on Tuesday evening and also on Wednesday evening. Okay, so looking forward, moving down to look at other major news for the last 24 hours or the last market day. First of all, last Friday, the US dollar continued its mild recovery ever since it started to consolidate on Wednesday and also becoming bullish on Thursday. On Friday itself, it continued its bullish recovery. Okay, and as of this morning, it is still looking for a new direction. Again, pending the UK and US trading sessions. So last Friday's major event, besides the UK economic data announced at 2 p.m. local Singapore time, at 11 p.m. During the evening, we also had the monetary policy report, which was reported to the US lawmakers on last Friday, 11 p.m. So in that report, the Federal Reserve basically outlined some risks ahead, including, of course, to a large extent, high uncertainty regarding the outcome of the coronavirus pandemic in the US. And of course, with the recent resurgence in COVID-19 cases for the last 5 market days or so, that is the main reason why we see the sentiment changing to a large extent. For the last couple of weeks, we can see the US dollar was bearish, and ever since the FOMC statement on early Thursday morning, and also a new spike in reported cases of COVID-19 ever since last Thursday, we can see that the sentiment has changed where due to this spike in the coronavirus case, we can see that the US equities, including the major indices such as S&P 500, has been dropping for has dropped about 7% since the high on Wednesday. Okay, so we also see oil prices dropping due to fears that the recent spike in coronavirus cases in the US may reduce demand for crude oil again. Okay, so these are the major changes in sentiment over the last few weeks, and it is starting to change on last Thursday. Okay, so these are the concerns reported by the Federal Reserve to the US lawmakers in the US, and We will be having more updates from them this week and also tomorrow, as Mr. Jerome Powell is scheduled to be speaking. Okay, so let us go on to have a look at the economic calendar for last Friday, okay, and the results. So last Friday on the 12th of June, again, we can see that at 2 p.m. we had the gross domestic product, the monthly gross domestic product from the UK, manufacturing production, and also industrial production numbers from the UK. First of all, you can see that all the numbers are red in color, with monthly GDP coming in at negative 20.4% versus a market forecast of negative 18.6. So in general, most of the data was red. Again, be very careful about trading when the news is coming out. What I mean is, when the numbers are red, don't simply go and sell the UK pound yet, okay? Because at 2 p.m. when all this data came out negative or below market expectations, okay, for the UK pound at 2 p.m., even just before 2 p.m. local Singapore time, over here is 800 plus 5. This is 1300 hours, which is 1 p.m. You can see that the UK pound was going up slightly, okay? And once the results were announced, most of it was below market expectations. We can see that the UK pound just marginally pulled down about 20 pips, but then after started to go up another 78 pips, okay? Only later during just before the US trading session, at about 1300 plus 5 is 1800 hours, 6 p.m. the UK pound only starts to go down, okay? The way I interpret these movements is that the main sentiment for the UK pound, again, it has been bullish for a number of weeks as the US dollar was bearish, okay? And the UK pound having touched a high of 1.2811, okay, on Wednesday. And of course, the major event was the FOMC statement on Thursday morning, 2 a.m. So after that announcement, and also with the spike of coronavirus cases in the US over the last couple of days, we can see that number one, the US dollar began to strengthen, okay? And the combination of the coronavirus case, the FOMC statement, and also UK's negative economic data continued to push down the UK pound on a Friday, okay? So for me, the weakness of the UK pound on Friday evening, US trading session, is a follow through from the change in sentiment of the UK pound, which was previously bullish, okay, bullish for not only the last few days, okay, but bullish for the last 2 weeks or so, okay. Every time it goes up, it goes into consolidation phase, then it goes up again, goes to consolidation phase. However, again, this time, due to the changes in economic situations and the COVID-19 situation, we can see instead of going up again, it continues to, it actually changes direction and sentiment to become bearish, okay? So on Thursday, it was down about 150 pips, and Friday, together with Friday, it came down a total of 269 pips, okay? So that was the main thing about the UK pound data on last Friday. So as you can see, it went up about 76 pips first before later on coming down during the evening session, okay? So this was the Federal Reserve Monetary Policy Report last Friday. And for this week, pay attention to today's economic calendar is pretty light, but pay attention to for tomorrow. We will be having Mr. Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve Chairman, speaking at 10 p.m. He will be testifying in front of Senate or Congress in the US, and also on Wednesday, okay? So Wednesday early morning, sorry, it will be Thursday, okay? Thursday at 12 a.m. local Singapore time, Mr. Jerome Powell will be testifying for the second day, okay? And as you can see, most of the data, even on for the UK pound, the official monetary policy report, the Central Bank of the UK, will also be having the meetings on Thursday, 7 p.m. Okay, so most of the action will come towards Wednesdays and Thursdays, and follow through all the way to Friday. Okay, so not to say that there's no movement today, but most of the action will be on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, so that's the wrap up for the market drivers and also the market news. So for today, as usual, or for any market day, pay attention to the Asian trading session, which is 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time. The UK trading session, which is 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. and also the US trading session, okay, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. So let us move on to the technical charts to analyze in slightly more detail on the US dollars movement, and also a little bit again on the UK pound, the euro dollar, gold prices, and also on crude oil prices. Okay, so let us move on to technical charts.